Okay, time to share about the therapy. So I didn't feel up for sharing the therapy that took place a few weeks ago. Just I was feeling very reclusive and not up for it, but now I'm like getting back into the swing of things and ready to share. So the therapy I had before that, it had to do with my inner child that was the age of 3, and she was not ready to really move much in that session. And so it took another week, and it was like the morning of, I checked in on her and she felt ready to move a few things. So that's what we worked on. And it started out with her, the image I got was she pulls out this sheet of paper and lays it on the sidewalk concrete. And she wanted to color while we worked through things. So I'm coloring with her, like imagining I am in this image that I'm seeing. And then my therapist asked, like, what do you want to show us? And so she jumps up and down, and then a crack takes place in the concrete. And then she opens it up a little bit more with her hands and pulls out this black chain. Then she pulls out this orange ball and gets some water and says it's dirty, and like drops the water on it to clean it. And she wanted to work on the chain first, and so we go with that. And she explains that this is something connected to my grandpa that is on my mom's side, and he's already passed, but it was like a matter of us calling him in, like the memory of him, and working with him. And she wanted him to be there, and I get from him, which I don't know if it's just my mind or if it's actually his spirit, but I don't think it matters because I'm healing no matter what. But he's asking the 3-year-old me, oh, can you help me with this? Because she wanted to make sure that he wanted us to do anything, and he did. So he's like, yes, can you help me? And so she like dusts off her hands and is ready to go to work, and so she goes over to him, and she's pulling something out of where his lower spine is, which is interesting because that is where this 3-year-old me is in myself. It's like my lower spine area. So she pulls that out, and then she turns to me and is like, we still need to get this out of us. And I wrote down notes because it's been a while. Oh yeah, when she pulled the thing out of him, it dissolved. And then so we saw on the chain that was the black chain that she had pulled, there was like this device on it, and it was blinking. And she took it off, threw it on the road, and a car drove over it, and it just broke into pieces. That was her way of releasing. And then that started dissolving as well. So then we go to the orange ball, and she picks it up, and she's opening it in half, and there is the fairy. In my last therapy, I spoke about this fairy part of me. So here's the fairy part again. And let's see. So fairy is saying, I'm weary to speak. And it didn't feel like the fairy was saying that to me. It felt more like it was another part, and so we were just asking if there was a part. And yes, an angry part came forward. And then there was a part that came forward that was disgusted with the angry part. So, and when we asked, like, we're thanking these parts for coming forward, can you just be quiet? No, the disgusted part was like, I gotta say my piece. So working with that part, I'm trying to remember. It turned out that I needed to forgive that part of me, and then that part of me, I just kept hearing over and over saying, I forgive myself, I forgive myself, I forgive myself. And it slowly got softer and softer until like I didn't feel that part. It felt a lot better after the forgiveness piece. And so then we could go back to the anchor part, and the anchor part was just saying it was irritated that this fairy part kept us in this state for as long as it has, and then it was able to soften too. So it just had to say that part and then it could step aside. So then the fairy was able to come forward and express. So looking at my notes again. Yeah, so with the fairy, some more forgiveness takes place, and then fairy, like in this little orange ball thing, she has this flower at her feet and she hands it to me and tells me to throw it to the ground. And so I throw it down, and it starts growing really, really big, like a beanstalk. But she's like, you don't climb this, you need to touch it. And so I touch the beanstalk, and I get these visuals of males in my family yelling from my childhood. And she says, we've been holding on to this. So then there was some more forgiveness pieces that came through again. A lot of forgiveness came through with this one. And then the 3-year-old me started pulling the energy off of me that I've been holding on to from this yelling. And then fairy me got tired and said she needed to rest. So that was kind of similar to how it was with the last therapy as well, where it's like, could you just a little, and it's like, okay, that's good, I'm too tired. So we go back to 3-year-old me, and 3-year-old me then she pulls out one more thing, which is a necklace, and it's she's saying it's mermaid, and then she gave me this memory of when I was little, I would pretend I was a mermaid when we go swimming at the pool with my sibling, well, my sisters, not the boys. But yeah, we pretend we were mermaids, and just bringing that memory in. And then she started to take off a mermaid costume, even though that wasn't even a thing when I was little. They didn't have those mermaid swimming costumes, but it happened in this imagery. So she's taking the costume off, and she's showing me that there's like this, it's kind of like a splinter or something stuck in her foot. And she tried to take it out and she couldn't, and it was like we needed a credit card or something to like brush it off, kind of like you would if a stinger from a bee sting is still in, you can use a credit card to get it off. So that's something I learned in my childhood, and I think that's why that was brought forward as well. So we get that out, and then she's feeling better, but then there's also like this one more thing she wants to pull out, I remember now, is this black flexible rubbery thing. And she really didn't like it. Like, she was kicking at it, sticking her tongue at it. She was upset with whatever this was. And she couldn't do anything about taking it apart either. And she then realized she needed her grandpa, my grandpa on my mom's side again, to come and just rock and hold her and just let her process the feelings. And so as she's feeling all these feelings and this imagery of my grandpa holding this 3-year-old me, I was feeling all the feelings. And yeah, I would feel some discomfort in certain places in my body, and then it would lessen. And then what came through was she had, let's see, she asked my grandpa to hold one side and she held the other, and they both pulled, and it tore apart that rubber thing. And she like fell down to the ground laughing and giggling, and then she wanted to bury whatever this black thing was. And so she does that, and then my therapist said if there's any residue or burden that she wants to be worked on, if there's anything left, let it happen. And she asked my grandpa to help, and so he's helping with that, helping replenish the energy, and just being support for her when she's 3. And then she started getting some long blinks and was really tired, and so that's pretty much where we left it. And yeah, so that's where we left it there, because the next therapy ended up going a different route. So I will talk about that in another video. but I do feel like a little bit has shifted since then, and yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna also talk a little more about some other stuff that's been coming up outside of therapy in another video. Anyway, thanks for watching.